Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'll be your host. And today we are talking to Riaan Britz, who is the manager at Best Choice Properties. Riaan is going to be taking us through their latest development called Aldanah Estate. Riaan, how are you doing today?
Very well. It's a beautiful day here in the Western Cape, the Garden Route.
I'm very, very jealous the fact that you're in the Western Cape and even more so that you're on the Garden Route. It is quite a nice day today as well. But up in Joburg, it's not nearly as beautiful as it does get down in the Western Cape.
It's excellent living down here, and the living quality is very, very good here.
Well, I think everybody's going to be even more excited then so that we can speak about the Aldanah Estate. But what I tend to like to do when we start off these interviews or these podcasts is just ask you to tell me a bit about yourself. Tell me something about your team and what potential clients can expect if they decide to purchase through Best Choice, and just what the flow is going to be like when they decide to purchase into Aldanah Estate.
Right. As you said, my name is Riaan Britz. First of all, I'm very Afrikaans, but I can do my best to address you in English. I've been in the real estate trade now for the past 18 years. I'm the owner of Best Choice Properties. I've got a small team working in George, in Dannaby, in Riversdale, and myself, I'm in Harold's Bay. I promise myself that my agents are very well trained. So to me, it's very important that when you deal with any of my agents, that you will deal with a well-trained professional that will know what they're talking about and will be able to assist you through the whole system of buying and how to buy and what not to do. Especially now that the interest rates are quite low, people tend to buy at the limits. And that's not the right thing to do, because interest rates will rise again. Then you might be in trouble. So my team is well trained to assist you with this. In Aldanah, it is a turnkey development, so they don't build the property that you're buying with your money. They build it with their own money, and only when the property is ready to register to your name, you start repaying your bond. And for that reason, we only take clients to view and to buy that is qualified and pre-approved for loans if they should need a loan to buy. And that is also part of the system that we assist our clients with. There's no cost involved. We assist you to determine how much you can afford to buy for. And as I said, with the low interest rates at the moment, it's really lucrative to buy now. You can even buy and straight away rent out the property that you've bought and have a rediment on your money and make some profit from day one.
Now, Riaan, I also wanted to ask you, would you let us know where Aldanah is?
Aldanah is just outside the town of George. It's in the suburb called Pakkelsdorp. Pakkelsdorp is developing at quite a rate at the moment. There's a golf estate developing. There's quite nice developments that are happening in Pakkelsdorp. And this is only one of two, that's only one of two security estates that's been developed there. It's quite new for Pakkelsdorp to have the security developments. So that is, I would say, about maximum 5 kilometers from George CBD. So it's just outside George.
What would be one of the reasons the estate was built there or made there? Are there any real key selling points that people should know about when buying Aldanah, other than what we're going to talk about a little bit later, such as the amenities and the rest? But what was the real reason that you saw that this would be a good place to start this development?
The main reason for developing there is costs, because buying a single stand in George or surrounding areas is anything between 600,000 to R1 million for vacant land. And this is all due building years for costs, because you can now buy in Aldanah Estate. The stance is 400 square meters, and the property that's been built there's 8 different plans, and varying from 630,000 to just over R1 million. In nowhere else in the vicinity can you buy in that price range. So it's ideal for a beginner, or even for somebody that is scaling down, or for investor.
Okay, and what different stand sizes are available?
The stand sizes are all more or less the same size. They're all around about 400 square meters, anything between 390 to about 420 square meters. They're all virtually all the same size.
So 390 to 400 square meters, and that the cost again, can we talk about that?
The cost will start at, there's 8 different plans. The cost will start at 630,000 Rand for the smallest unit, which is just over 50 square meters. That consists of 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, a living area and a kitchen and a patio. And it goes up to 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, living area, kitchen and a garage, which is 101 square meters, and that will be 1,050,000 Rand. But there's, as I said, there's anything in between as well. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms with a garage, without a garage, 3 bedrooms without a garage. We try to work to your budget with 8 different plans that's been pre-approved.
So you've definitely put a lot of thought into leaving quite a bit of customization within these units. And on that note, I wanted to ask you, how far can you go with the customization? If I want to change, say, the tabletops in the kitchen, am I able to do that? Can I get on the phone with you or one of your sales guys and say, Riaan, what I'd like is I envision my kitchen to be set out this way. Can you do that, or can you only build within certain parameters within those units?
There are certain flexibilities. You cannot change the walls. The walls are fixed to the plans. The tiles, there are different tile options. There's different color options of the cupboards. There's different options of the internal walls. Some clients have asked us they don't want the washing machine in the kitchen. They want it in the garage. Things like that can be done. Yeah, for sure, within limits. And then if there's extra cost involved, we'll give you a quotation to do so.
So it's very nice to hear that you've actually went so far. You've almost went two or three steps ahead in terms of the amount of customization you allow within these developments, specifically when you keep in mind what some of the other developers are doing and just how rigid what you're buying there is. Can I ask what stage or what phase this development's in right now?
Okay, the whole development will be in 4 stages. Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as a shopping complex that's just outside the development. Phase 1 is sold out, and the first properties in Phase 1 will start registering as from next month. So people can start moving in on Phase 1. We're now busy selling Phase 2. Phase 2 consists of 57 units. Once that is done, we'll carry on to Phase 3, which will be another 75 units. In Phase 4 will be 3 blocks of flats. And then when all that is done, the shopping center will be built, as well as the creche, because there will be a creche on the premises as well.
So shopping center and a creche. What other amenities are available within this estate? What have you got planned? It seems like you've definitely put a lot of thought into it, and it seems also that it's turning out to be quite a big and quite a exclusive and inclusive estate.
We would like to, because the buyers there is mainly that's going to actually having a lifestyle effect. They must be able to go to work, leave their small child there, the creche, come back, buy the milk and draw their money and do what they need to be done. There will be Wi-Fi. There will be, each unit will have their own security camera that's you can watch from your own cell phone, but only your own unit. You to see what's happening at your house. 2 sides of your property can be fenced, and you can keep 2 small dogs or a cat. So some pets will be allowed as well. There's no green areas. There's no parks in it because we find that can become a problem. So each person will have his own yard, and there's enough room in the yard for kids to play or for 4 vehicles to park. And as I say, there's 24-hour security. The gates will be remotely controlled. There's 24-hour security at the gates, and you will have Wi-Fi as well as the cameras that's on your own unit that you can watch on your cell phone.
Very, very interesting stuff there. And I wanted to ask, stage 2 that you're currently building now, where or when will that be finished?
We hope, COVID is gone now, so we hope there's not that delays again. But the ideal is that people will be able to move in before Christmas.
before Christmas. So people can definitely expect, if they decide to purchase now and get in touch with you, that they're moving in within a very, very reasonable time frame.
That's correct, because there's a huge building team building. So it's get done and get done well.
Another question I wanted to ask is, what do the rates and levies look like? Now that you've put in this thought to the amenities of the development, I can see also you haven't went with the parks like you've mentioned. That must bring the rates and levies down. Was that a thought that you put in when you guys decided not to go with parks or possibly clubhouses? And what are the rates and levies now?
At this stage, we starting off with 500 Rand per month, including your rates. Of course, when you buy in there, you'll be part of the homeowner association, and when there's anything that people want to change or want to increase, you'll be part of that decision. But we start off with 500 Rand per month.
Nice. Low rates and levies, I'm sure it's making everybody watching this smile. But I think another thing people want to see is they want to see what Aldanah Estate looks like. So let's take a quick break. You guys tuning in, take a look-see at all the different units we're going to be showcasing as well, and we will be right back. Afternoon and welcome back to the Developer Show. My name is Chad and I'm your host, and today we are joined by Riaan Britz, who is the manager at Best Choice Properties. Riaan is talking to us about their latest development, which is Aldanah Estate. Riaan, the estate looks absolutely fantastic, and I wanted to start off the second half of our interview with, could you tell me what sets it apart from other developments and estates in the area?
I would say the three main points to mention is, first of all, price. This is price right for the beginner, for the investor, or for anybody that wants to scale down. In this price, what people don't always realize, there's cost involved in transferring property to your name. And with properties less than R1 million, there's no transfer duty to be paid. So this, first of all, there's no transfer duties to be paid. That makes it cheaper to get the property into your name. Secondly is the quality of the finishings. Throughout the house, there's good quality tiles. The bedrooms, it's got laminate flooring. The bathrooms, both quality things that's been used in the bathrooms. They've got gas geysers. Gas geysers is cheap to run and it's not as expensive to maintain as in the other geysers that's off the grid. And some of these stands even got ocean views.
If you haven't sold anybody with an ocean view, I don't think you can sell anybody.
Yes, it's spectacular because it's quite high up, so you could have a very nice wide view of the ocean.
Riaan, another question I wanted to ask you, and we've mentioned it quite a few times here and there, and that is the investment factor of this. So if I decide to purchase within Aldanah Estate from an investment point of view, would you help me find a resident to rent out the property if I decide to go down the rental route, or is that something I need to partake and handle myself?
I'm very proud to say that my wife is my partner in the business as well, and she received accolades for as best rental administrator more than once in South Africa when we were still with the franchise company. she knows what she's doing. So yes, we big into rentals as well. We find your tenant for you, and we realize that you as investor, that your investment is just as good as your tenant. So we make sure that we find you as best as possible the tenant that will look after your property, can afford your property, because the National Credit Act also stipulates that you're not allowed to rent for more than a third of your gross income. So that we need to look at as well. And we've got to do due diligence to make sure that we place your tenant that will really look after your property and to secure your investment.
I think you've almost dropped a pearl of wisdom there for a lot of people who might not know it when you mentioned the Credit Act stipulates that you can't rent for more than a third of your gross income. So it's very, very interesting hearing that and hearing it over the podcast. The other question I wanted to ask you, or more the statement I wanted you to tell me whether it's true or false, is that if I decide to deal with best choice properties, it seems that in one, you'll help me make sure I'm purchasing within my price point. Will you assist me with the bond as well?
Yes, we do. We've got partners that's doing the bond portion free of any charge, but you're also free to go directly to your bank. We do find, and I've got nothing against people going directly to the bank, that's fine. But we do find that there's sometimes a bank feel that they might be overexposed in a certain area and they might not give you the best interest rate. That's why it's good to deal with an originator, somebody that deals with all the banks, to make sure that you get the best deal available.
So you'll also help me assist with the bond. And then the second thing or the third thing that you'll assist with is if I decide to purchase to rent, you're going to help me get a tenant and the right tenant for me as well.
For sure. But remember, when we place a tenant in your property, we get a monthly commission fee in managing your property. And we only get that if the tenant pays. So it's important for me as well to make sure that I do place a tenant that I'm 100% sure at this stage in time will be a good tenant.
I can see why your name is Best Choice Properties here. Riaan, the other question I wanted to ask you is from a development point of view, why should I purchase into a development? Why should I not just go and buy myself a normal freestanding home?
I think with a starter or a first-time buyer don't always realize when you buy a property, there's also maintenance. And buying in the property, the development like this, the builder is registered with what we call the NHBRC. There's a governing body that gives you a 5-year guarantee on what has been built there, first of all. So that hassle is not there. When you buy, when you own a builder, or you just buy a property, second-hand property, not a nice name, but it's a second-hand property, you don't have that guarantees and that sureties. Second of all, there's a homeowner association. So the inside of the property you maintain, but the outside of the property and the general areas and the roads and the street lights, everything is maintained by the body corporate. So there's much less costs involved. And if this unit is going to be 178 houses, so of course there's so many more people sharing that cost. So it's very little impact. So your levy is there to carry that. So also for lock up and go, if you want to go and leave, you want to go away. The garden, the lawns has been cut, been looked after. You've got neighbors around you. It's safe. I find that our younger generation does not really want to commit all that much these days. Today they're working in Dubai, tomorrow they're working in Canada. So they love to have somewhere to call home, but they're not always there. They want to know that it's secure, it's been looked after, or even when it's rented out, it's safe. So that's why we'll go for a development. If you want to keep big dogs and you want huge yards to play rugby with your kids or things like that, then this is not for you.
I think a lot of people also generally don't initially realize how much costs or how many costs are involved in purchasing a full title home over a sectional title home. If a tree falls down in the garden, or your garden services, if you need to repaint, if you need to retile your roofs, there's so many costs involved there. Whereas, as you'd mentioned with the homeowner association, those costs are all taken care of. The only thing you need to worry about is your bond on the house and the insides of the house, which is a huge relief. Specifically, like you mentioned as well, if you're not always at home.
That's correct. Absolutely.
From an investment point of view, what makes this a good investment choice?
First of all, if you buy a property worth 2.5 or 3, 4 million rand, it's a very nice property, but your growth on that per annum is almost none. It's maybe 0.5% or maybe 1%. If you buy a property for 700,000, 800,000, 900,000 rand, and your growth at this stage, even in the bad economic times, the growth there is still much more than inflation, even around about 10% or more. I won't want to say I can guarantee, but I'm pretty sure if you buy a property in Aldanah, the smallest one for 630, I'm sure you'll be able to sell that same property within a year for more than 700,000 rand, which is a nice income on your money. But if you buy a million rand, or not a million rand, a 2, 3, 4 million rand house, you will not have the same growth in the value.
That is definitely not a bad capital growth in such a short period of time. And that I'm sure makes a lot of people now want to purchase within Aldanah Estate. So if I wanted to purchase within Aldanah Estate, what is it that I need to do? And also, what can I expect from you guys? So what is the process that you're going to take me through if I wanted to purchase a home within Aldanah Estate?
Right. First of all, it's important to know that all 8 floor plans at Aldanah Estate has been pre-approved by the banks. So the banks already pre-approved the value of the houses. So when you as potential buyer come connect with us and say you're interested, when you normally buy a house that's got to be built, then you need to give the plans and the quotations into the bank. It's a long process. This has already been done with Aldanah. So all that has been pre-approved. You know, whatever you buy, the bank already found the value. So what we need to do is to get you a pre-approval from the banks. And for that, we will need you to give us authorization to do credit check on you, to do find out your bank account, your income, because you cannot buy for more than a third of your gross income. And if there's anything wrong when we do the credit checks, we give you that report. And sometimes there's things in your name that is not yours, and then you can sort that out, and we can re-look at you. And even if you don't buy at Aldanah, as soon as you got this pre-approval in your hand, you've got some authorization when you want to buy anything else, any other house, and there's somebody else also wants to buy the house, the person that's got this pre-qualified certificate in his hand got some authority. So we will do that for you. We'll take you through, assist you out and get you pre-approved. Then we look at the houses, and as soon as we have a nice discussion exactly what your needs are, we'll make an appointment with the actual developer, Mr. Hamza Sarara, and we will sit down with him and discuss your budget, your needs, and how this can be fit into the 8 plans, what that will fit you the best. Once they start building, lots of our buyers is not from the area. I go down there regularly, I take photographs of the house as it's been built, give it to you, show you all that's happening there. And also, if you want us to rent your property, we need to know when to start marketing this property to be able to rent it. It doesn't stand empty for a month or 2. So the moment the house is ready, the tenant can move in, and when you start paying your bond, so we look after you.
Riaan, thank you so much for that clarification. Lastly, what I wanted to ask you is, you've had a journey with private property for quite a while now. You've been a client of ours, and I wanted to know, how does private property change the way you